this back down here. Get the live chat back up. Let's see who we got on here. I think we got Sinful's on here, and I'm not sure who else. Let's see. But this week here, I got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm gonna do a video on rebooting your life in the Philippines, or rebooting from the United States to come over here, which should be kind of cool, a cool topic. I'm actually considering doing a little reboot myself. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Hey, Guapo, how you doing? Good to see you on here. But yeah, I'm planning on doing like a little change myself. I'm not sure what yet. You guys can start popping up questions if you want, by the way. I'm just talking here just to get the show started a little bit, just to keep it interesting. Let's see, Tim Huss, morning from Ohio. How you doing, Tim? Good to see you on here, man. Who else we got on here? We got 5 people so far, 1 thumbs up. We're probably going to do about an hour to an hour and a half tonight. I might shorten it up. My back's a little sore. It was fine this morning when I got up, which is unusual. And then I went for a jeepney ride and messed up my back again. Guapo says from Bakersfield, California. Welcome, Guapo. Darren says, hello, Steve. Darren from Atlanta here. Always loving your shows. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. Michael L. is on board. He's also one of our moderators. Good evening, Stephen. Knee deep in XL. However, I had one eye on the monitor on the chat. Okay. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. So we got 15 people already, so we're moving fast here. But I wanna get talking about this, what I was talking about the and Dickie Spaz is on board. Good morning from Gila Bend, Arizona. And Guapo, rebooting on a budget. There we go. Actually, that's actually a good idea, is talk about the budgets too here that people have. And I'm kind of rebooting my budget a little bit too. I'm kind of changing things around a little bit. I've had like a rough 8 months or more here. And I'm trying to, and Sinful Zombo, good day, evening all. And Michael L. says it's 1 degree Celsius here. Water is freezing outside in St. Charles, Missouri. There we go. But yeah, I want to do a reboot thing. Just talk about rebooting, kickstarting, just moving on. And a lot of people sometimes, even here in the Philippines, we want to reboot sometimes. And I'm kind of at that spot, kind of. So we're going to talk about that probably a little bit this week. Sinful says, why does it show 2 live streams and I pick the wrong one? LOL. I was trying to set it up and something happened. So, yeah, this is the one. Aloha, Steve. I'm from QC. How you doing, G Manila? Good to see you on here. But I used to be up that way a little bit once in a while on weekends and stuff. It's a nice area up there. I don't like the living conditions up there, but I love the malls up there in QC. If any of you guys ever get a chance, check out the QC malls. They're Quezon City malls. They have some of the best malls, probably in the Philippines, I believe. That's my belief anyway. I've seen some nice malls in the Philippines. There's a lot of nice malls in the Philippines. Mall of Asia is really not one of them. I hate to say that. A lot of people think Mall of Asia is probably one of the nicest malls around. It's not. QC has way better malls. Mall of Asia is just bigger. That's the only thing about Mall of Asia that it has really going for it. Let's see. Ripley says, it is 30 in Topeka, Kansas. Snow next week. G Manila says, aloha, Steve. I'm in QC. Tom Haas, budget is how one wants to live. Spend like a drunken sailor. Go broke like a joke. There we go. Michael says, Dems have a sickness. They can't be cured. Okay. We try to stay off politics, Michael. So that's a thing. We have Democrats, Republicans, and everybody on here. And we're not a channel about politics. So we try to stay off that. I have my beliefs. You have yours. And, and I'm a Republican, I'll just say that, I'm a moderate Republican. Michael L., there is a good PC parts shop in QC. I didn't know that. I know that they have a really good chiropractor up there, Dr. Rob, who I go see once in a while. He's a really, really good guy too. He's just a nice all-around guy. So if you're looking for a good chiropractor, go see Dr. Rob up in QC. He's excellent. Let's see. Let's get some questions on here. We're up to 32 people. 5 thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up going, guys. And yeah, this week here, we put out the 10 things there for expats. I did that this past week, which is a really it did pretty good actually. We're gonna do more of stuff like that. and people have been sending me some stuff. If you guys got some ideas or anything, let me ask you this, because you guys are out there. If you guys got some ideas for me doing a video, send me that in email at steven5975@yahoo.com. Let's see. Michael L says there was a mall in NCR that is modeled on Venice. Yes, in Taguig. That's a nice mall, the Venice Mall. I actually like that mall. I actually use that mall in some of my thumbnails. If you guys might have noticed some of them. Sinful says, so we have 32 watches already, but only 7 thumbs up. Thanks, folks. Ripley7T says, what is the time period right now running for the expanded courtesy approval? It's about 8 weeks, okay? It was at 6. It's right now at about 7 or 8. So just FYI, guys. So if you guys are coming over and you want to get your expanded courtesy visa, you're going to have to be here in country for 8 weeks. It might go quicker, but it's going usually about 8 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks. And Sinful's put my email address here. Michael says, why is it impossible to find a turkey sandwich set? Actually, I'm trying to think. I saw a turkey sandwich somewhere. It might have been at the PRA building. I'm not sure. I saw a turkey sandwich somewhere at one of the sandwich places. There's not many sandwich places, and the only one I can think of right now is at the PRA building. On the first floor, there's a little sandwich shop there. I'm not sure if they have them or not. Let's see. Guapo says, some senator bought adult toys with money. He's in the news. That's kind of sad. Lou Anderson's on board. Hello, everyone. Darren says, what's your plan, Steve? Moving to a different part of PI or another country? I'll tell you. I'm planning on doing something, and I'm not sure yet. I'm not putting it out there yet, but there's going to be a big change, and you guys, I'll share it with some of it with you. It's kind of a self-protection thing. I'll just say that, and there's going to be some changes. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit as I go through it, because I want people to learn, because things happen here, okay? And as I go through things over here, I try to teach you guys what I go through, and so you guys can learn from that too. And we're going to talk about that this week a lot. Okay, Tim Husk, Guapo. Let's see, Dickie's Best, 22-pound turkey going down next week with honey-baked ham. I actually saw some honey-baked ham here today. I've actually tried one of those small hams, and they're not that bad. But they have them, they're about this big. They're like almost the size of a large softball. Darren, gotcha. We'll be with you along the way. Ripley7T says, yeah, I am going the ham route this year, just me and my son here now. Joe Cunningham says, for those applying for the SRV, is there a required monthly pension that the applicant receives to get approved? Yes, you have to have $1,000 or more. But you don't have to have a pension if you put $20,000 down. Just remember that, Joe Cunningham. Okay, so yeah, as Sinful says, it's 1K single or 1.5 married. So he's right on that. And Dickie Spess is staying barricaded in my castle on Black Friday unless I'm working. Also, guys, on Thanksgiving Day, we are doing Thanksgiving dinner over at the Evian Mall at Texas Roadhouse. If you're gonna go, let me know. Send me an email at least so I can put you on, so we can have seats for you. Because we have a bunch of seats there that are for the people on our list already. So if you're going, please let us know. Okay. It's at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon at Texas Roadhouse. We've already booked it, so we're all set. And Joe Cunningham says, thanks. Sinful's Dickie Spaz, LOL. Let's see. Michael says, do they have turkey? Yes. Actually, I live right next to the mayor of Tracy Martires. I live right next to her. And she has turkeys over there sometimes. I'm not sure if she has turkeys this year. I think she gave up the turkeys because they smelled so bad over there. Turkeys have a really, really rank smell when you raise turkeys. They're not like chickens. Chickens have a smell too, but not as bad as turkeys. Tom's away says, Earl of Sandwich at Mall of Asia has holiday turkey sandwich. That's pretty good. There are some places that do change things up a little bit. You have to kind of go out and look for them and find them, but they're out there. you can find sandwich places that have pretty good meals actually. I had a turkey dinner here somewhere with cranberry sauce that was delicious. Um, I can't remember where it was, but it was delicious. It was awesome. Lolo's Law, good morning from San Diego. Got my SRV in September. Now back here, selling our house. Hope to be back in Cavite in January. Well, let us know when you're here, man, so we can get together. Let's see. Sinful says Steve. I think Michael was talking about Texas Roadhouse having turkey. No, um, Michael, they do not have turkey at Texas Roadhouse that I know of. I wish they did. I wish they did. Michael, turkeys are an order of magnitude harder to raise than chickens. Yes, they are. They're definitely harder to raise than chickens, and like I said, they do smell a lot too. They're a totally different bird. Okay. Guapo says I used to raise chickens myself and ducks. I never raised turkeys though. Guapo, I stuffed my turkey under the breast skin with butter and roast in a bag, so it will not be dry. Um, I used to raise quail too when I was really young. I had some quails that I raised in this thing that I bought from Boys Life magazine. And I raised some quail and I set them free. And we always had quail around my yard because of the fact that they were raised there. So they kind of stuck around the area there. It was kind of nice seeing them. And they were there for like about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And then they kind of disappeared. So I don't think they bred anymore. I'm not sure if they were all females or all males or something. But I did set them free. It was kind of cool. Anyway, we got 46 people, 23 thumbs up now. And let's get some more people on here talking and ask them some more questions. CB, 6 months per year, now in Bahol. There we go. That might be the way to do it for some people. If you got the money, man, do 6 months here, months back in the U.S. if you got a place back in the U.S. But it can get expensive, especially now where rents are really, really high back there unless you own. Darren says, Boy's Life was a great magazine. Takes me back, LOL. If you remember, some of you guys might remember, and we can talk about anything tonight you guys want to talk about. I'm game for anything tonight. If you remember in Boys Life magazine, for any of you guys that were Boys Life or a Cub Scout or Weeblo or whatever you were, they used to have Johnson Smith magazine, and they used to sell some crazy stuff in there. And I remember back, it was during Jimmy Carter's years, and I'm going to talk about this because it's kind of cool. And Jimmy Carter was in there, and he was talking about sending everybody was going to get $50. Kids, everybody was going to get $50, and it was like a big deal back then. $50 was a lot of money. Nowadays, $50 is like $10. And as a kid, I was telling my dad, I said, Dad, when he sends us the $50, are you going to give me my $50? He goes, Yeah, I'll give it to you. Like that, right? He never sent the $50. I don't think, not that I recall anyway, because I never got it. But my father knew I wanted that $50 so bad that later on he gave it to me, even though he knew we weren't going to get it. And I ordered all this stuff from Johnson Smith, and it was all these kind of crazy toys and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. Just just a story. Was kind of, I thought it was kind of cool because they sold really crazy stuff, like little knickknacks and all the old toys and stuff like that. And I remember ordering all kinds of stuff. I ordered a one-armed bandit that cost me like $10 or something, and it was pretty fun. It was they were the toys of the day. Let's see. Darren says Boys Life and Magic Tricks too. They had great magic tricks in there. Darren says Boys Life is a great magazine. Takes me back. Sinful says my turkey each year tasted great. Everyone asked how I did the spice. I told them I grabbed whatever was in the cupboard. There we go. Guapo, the bald eagle beat the turkey to become the American symbol. Let's see. Yeah, the turkey actually, Ben Franklin wanted that to become the American symbol, which would have been kind of embarrassing, actually. Flight of Icarus says, Hey, Steve, what's up, everyone? Hello from Cebu, PI. There we go, some guy from Cebu. Welcome aboard, man. We got actually quite a lot of people on our channel here from Cebu. Most of them are not active, though, at watching us. Johanna, good evening, lover boy. Thanks, Johanna. And actually, let's see, we're up to about 14 minutes. We got 48 people on here. my channel lately, I don't know if you guys have probably picked up on this. I haven't been doing a lot of videos on here, and like I said, I've been sick. But now we should start seeing the upward curve, and I started seeing a little bit of an upward curve today, which is good. So it's starting to come back a little bit because I'm starting to get more involved in the videos again. We got a lot of things going on. Like I said, there will be a change this year. Let's get some more stuff on here, guys. We're up to 50 people, 29 thumbs up. Let's get some more people on here talking. But and who else is out there on here tonight? I know we got 50 people on here. I know some people watch on their TV, so you can't see who's on, who's watching on TV because they can't answer. It's harder to. Johanna, where are you from? Let's see if we can get an answer here. Yeah, so this week here, we're gonna have some new stuff on here. I'm gonna do some of those things like 5 things, that will help you this, and 8 things that will do this, or 10 things. We're gonna try to look into that more this month, and have some more of that stuff too. Flight of Icarus says, I haven't been on any YouTube much since moving here 2 years ago. Been following you since before I made the move. Thanks, Flight of Icarus. Yeah, our channel, we're going to be redoing some of the older videos too. Somebody asked me about that and said, Steve, you need to redo some of your older ones because they're way far back and you're up to 1,400 videos now. And it's hard to find. We are going to do that too. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And we will be doing some of the older stuff about moving here, what you need to move here and all that stuff. Chris Herron's in Georgia. Michael, Sabu, Johanna, Tracy, Poe. Johanna's in Tracy. That's cool. Let's see. Larry Scott, I am in Florida going to the Philippines on the 30th of November. Okay. Michael L. Chris, which Georgia? Yeah, there we go. Guapo, I just finished another book by Martha Stout, PhD, Harvard Medical School instructor, says 1 in 25 Americans have no conscience and could do anything. You want to know something? Now that you mention it, I'm kind of finding that true. Over here, I find some strange people, man. And you think just when you think you know somebody, they surprise the hell out of you. And I've run into that this past month. Ripley7T, you know what is crazy? The amount of things you accumulate after living in the place for 20 years. I have been emptying the house since June, LOL. Target date is December 24 to move. Well, I know what it's like to move out of a house. I moved out of a house, and I had to get a dumpster and move everything out. It took a couple of days. I actually had to take a week off to move everything into the dumpster, and and actually pay somebody to help me. Chris Herron says, Georgia, USA. Douglas Robinson, good evening from Nagar City. There we go. Doug's on board. Sinful says, Chris Herron, I lived in Cartersville. Sean, how many young expats are over there? There's actually quite a lot. Anything interesting about the younger crowd? 29 myself. We do have a younger crowd. We've had a few of them pass through here that are in their 20s and 30s. They're actually some pretty smart people. We've had Dylan pass through here. We had another guy. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Dylan too, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. And we had a couple of other younger people pass through here in their, like I said, 20s and 30s. And one of them started a channel. And I actually did a story about him. I can't recall his name now. It's been a while. John here, thumbs up, Steve. Thank you, sir. But anyway, they're all pretty intelligent and savvy. And what surprised me was the guy started up a really awesome channel and talking and stuff like that. And just when he was ready to start making it big here, because I saw his numbers exploding, he quit. And I think he got some wrong advice about how payments work here, because if you get paid in the United States, you pay your taxes back in the U.S. So I'm not sure why he stopped doing what he was doing, but I think he would have had a huge channel. Flight of Icarus says, I'm 35, soon to be 36 here, retired in Cebu. My crew is 24 to 40 range. There's a few people that are young and retired here, and it's kind of amazing to see those people come over here in their 30s and even 20s, and some of them got businesses started that are kind of self-running. Samuel, hi Steve, watching from Leicester, England, UK. Thanks, Samuel. Nice to see you on here tonight. Michael L, savvy expat out of BGC. No, that's not who I'm talking about. He was actually one of us. He was with us for a while, and then he left. We got a guy here now. His name is Dylan. I think the other guy, I don't think it was Dylan though, but he was a younger guy in his 20s, like 27. He's probably like about 30 now. Tim Huss, last September I crossed paths with a guy in his 20s in San Jose, Dinagat Island. That might be one of the guys. I think he was down in Dinagat for a while. Dinagat Island is actually, my father landed there during World War II. I remember him telling me that was one of the few islands that he did stop on. And then his ship, the Ward, got sunk right off of Ormoc, the USS Ward. He got sunk right off of Ormoc, and he actually didn't get sunk. He got hit by a kamikaze, and the ship that pulled up to it sunk it because of the fact that they were worried that the ship would be used by Japan, either refurbished or would be used for scrap metal or whatever. And they didn't want to get in the hands of Japan, so they sunk it. Let's see. CB says 800 if single or 1,000 if married. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I think it's strictly 1,000 now. I think you're talking about the SRRV. I think they say 1,000 now, from what I understand. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it's 1,000. Michael L. CB wrong. Yeah, see. Guapo, watching from Bakersfield, California. I'm originally from North Dakota. I like hot weather because everything I've heard has been 1,000 or 1,500. I know that the site has some old stuff on there still, and you got to kind of be careful what it says on there. You're better off talking to Mary Rose to find out the actual amounts. Guapo, watching from Bakersfield, California. I'm originally from North Dakota. I like hot weather. I actually read a story about Deadwood up in the Dakotas the other day. It was quite an interesting story about all the famous people that passed through there. It was kind of cool. Michael says, other than YouTube, what are a few ways to make a few pesos online? Call centers. People open call centers here. There's a lot of people that open call centers. Otherwise, I wouldn't open a business here. To be honest with you, YouTube, if it fails, what's the worst that can happen? Your channel's still there, but I mean, people make some good money on YouTube here. It depends on how much effort you put into it. If you put 4 hours a day into editing, I could grow this channel really fast, but I like keeping it kind of a organic channel, and my channel grows on its own. And mine is not a very glitzy channel. It's more of a like I said, organic. I mean, we don't do any editing or anything like that. And I don't, I do pretty well. I mean, I know people that do editing that do better. There are channels out there that spend all the time, but I'm retired. That's the way I look at it. Sinful says, anyone to Lego for adults? I have a GT40 I'm going to put together. Sinfuls, I just saw, I believe it might be the one that you're talking about. I saw something, it might have been Lego too. It looked like a Lego type thing over at Miniso, the Japanese store. And I think it might have been a GT40 that was there, and they also had a motorcycle and some other vehicle. Michael L, 1,000 USD if single, and 1,500 for married. If you go the 10K deposit route, no pension needed for 20K. Exactly, correct. Let's see. Jeeves Winston, New England here. Studded snows this week. Set me back $950. Wow, that's a lot of money, man. So, what part of New England are you in, Jeeves? Razzie Cat, hello Steve. John from Indiana. We'll be there in January. My employer gave permission to work online from there. Engineering CAD, so extended my stay there. Good. That's what I like to hear, people that can work over here. If you can do that, man, it can be a great thing. John Sarkis is regarding the military stipulation for the SRRV. Some have merely said you had to have served. Others say minimum of 2 years. Minimum of 2 years. That's correct. Minimum of 2 years. Honorable discharge too. Okay, so I know that for sure. We've done hundreds of these SRRVs now with Mary Rose. Hundreds. I've sent her. I'm not sure how many people. It might be up into the thousands now. It seems like quite a lot. Fran says hello from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. Let's see. And Sinful's put up the pra.gov site. Let's see. Flight of Icarus says, I recommend you be drawing 2,500 bare minimum with 10K US savings. Yes, realistic numbers are 3.5 to 4K monthly passive. You'll be hurting at 1K to 1.5K monthly unless you pay nothing for board. Yes, I agree with that. You're about right. I would say 2 to 3K is the magic number if you're not a big spender. But having 4K plus, I think you're way better off. A 3.5 to 4K. Yeah, you're about right. You know. Let's see. Simple says John Sarkis, you need an honorable DD214. Correct. It has to say honorable on it. Anything other than that, and I think they'll let a couple other things go, but you got to ask Mary Rose about that. General under honorable conditions or something like that. I forget what the wording was. Sinfuls, Jeeves Winston's ouch, snow sucks, LOL. Jeeves Winston, Vermont. Okay. Damn cars, what kind of things should be in a prenup asking for a friend? I would protect yourself in any way you can here to protect your goods, protect your retirement benefits. That she can't touch anything unless you have a kid. If you have a kid, you should even write that in there. Whether it will stand up in the Philippines or not, who knows? It could be thrown in the trash. That's why you need to talk to an attorney. I'm not an attorney. If you need an attorney, damn cars, give me a yell on through email, and I'll give you an attorney that you can call, or you can talk to on Messenger. Michael, Amazon is going to start selling cars. That's cool. Jeeves Winston, snow is fine. It's the cold November ice and rain. I need to get off this iceberg. There we go. Wandering Wolf says, is 10K US dollars savings enough? What about a medical emergency? Wandering Wolf, 10K really is on the lower side. We say it's enough if you have insurance, if you have minimum insurance over here. I'm not talking about Phil Health. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about having a Pacific Cross, what we call a peso plan. And you can call Michael Onstad, Onstad, about that. If you have any questions, he's on Messenger. Michael Onstad, okay? Onstad, okay? Sinful says, Michael, will they deliver on Amazon Prime to the Philippines? They probably would, Sinfuls, if it's over $49. Who knows? Lou Anderson says, my shipping container with dive gear still hasn't arrived. As such, I haven't hit any dive sites yet. I have enjoyed a few island hopping tours with beachside massages and pina coladas. Loving the life. That sounds like fun, the pina colada part. I haven't had a good pina colada in a couple of years. JD, renewing my SRV card in January. I heard it's going to be good for 2 years. Yes, that's correct. Wondering if the renewal fee will double as well. Yes, because it's for 2 years. That's correct also. Jeeves Winston, couple more years, plan to retire at 56. That's a good time. I retired at 55. Mark Richard, hi Stephen. Hello to everyone else. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you on here, man. Mike Ross, isn't 4K US dollars already in the top 1% of household incomes in the Philippines? You know, Mike, I'm not sure. Okay, I believe you're probably correct. You know, it's considered rich over here to have 4,000 a month. It's considered to be very wealthy over here because the cost of living is so much difference. I was talking about this the other day, and I believe I talked about it either in a live stream or on one of my videos. That I bought a thermos. The thermos was probably, I don't know, we'll say it was $14 roughly, right around $14. But the U.S. price on there was like $60. Okay, for the same, it was Aqua Flask or something like that they call it or whatever. It's one of the famous flasks over here, you know. And I just thought it was kind of crazy to see that price in the United States. It was like more than 3 times the price. So it goes to show you that, you know, prices there's a big difference. John, living in the Philippines, so sorry, joining late. Sinfuls puts up my thing again. Flight of Icarus says 10K US dollars savings is what I call parachute fund. That's getaway or absolute need cash, medical insurance, any provision thereof is added consideration. Mark Richard, I will buy a car, therefore I get married, so when I get a prenuptial, if things go south, she can't take my car. That's an idea. Ripley 7T, retired military and VA service connections. You can use Manila for service connections and even foreign medical program for charges. Yes, that is correct. Plus TRICARE overseas. Not many participating, but you get you can get reimbursement. Yes, there are also hospitals that pay for the foreign medical. They bill foreign medical directly, and they wait for the money to come. So just be aware of that. And all the same goes with TRICARE. So you have to check with those hospitals. At least that's the way it was a few years back. I believe it's still the same way. Flight of Icarus says 4K is middle upper class. Yeah, I know it's pretty high up there. Three more brackets above it, I believe, up to 20K US dollar monthly earners. Let's see, Razzie Cat, I've heard you qualify for the 10K SRRV with SS minimum of $800 a month as your pension. That could be true for that, but for the expanded courtesy visa for military, it's 1,000. I'm not sure, Razzie Cat. You could be right, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna say I'm not sure. We don't do too many of the 10K SRRVs. I've done a lot of the 20s. We've done a few of the 10Ks, but it's been a while. You may be right, but I believe even that's 1,000 now. I believe they changed that to 1,000. You can talk to Mary Rose if you have a question about this. There's not too many people that are down that low in the SS thing and don't have some other sort of pension, coming in. Usually most people have something else coming in. JD Mark, if you're already living with her when you buy the car, that may possibly not protect you. Not sure though. Sinful says in the Philippines you can be considered rich if you earn at least 182,000 up each month. You are high income if you make. Yes, I think Sinful is right, because this sounds like the one, like this come out of the video that I did a while back. What he's reading here, I think he's reading something off of the internet, which I did a video on a while back, and I think I'm sure that Sinful's numbers are pretty correct here. And actually, I did that video twice. I did it once a long time ago, and I did it, I believe, within the past 6 months. Riza May, Sinfuls, you think too big. Here in the Philippines, 50,000 is comfy already. Not quite. For some people it might be, but I don't think 50,000 is comfy, by no means. Sinfuls, Riza May, OMG, that is just from a Philippine income article. Yeah, that article, I think, is the same one that I did something off of. And they also did another article, but every year they do that article. Resume, I'm Filipino, I'm saying more than 50,000 is rich. Okay, I gotcha. Kino Maru, have you heard of anyone actually getting their visa deposit back from banks? Yes, that happens all the times when people leave. It takes a while. Mary Rose told me, and some of the other people at the PRA have told me it takes a while to get that money back, but it's you'll get it back within like 6 months or something. It takes a little while. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's like 3 months. But somebody else did say 6 months, so I'm not sure. For you guys looking to do the SRRV, watch my SRRV video that I did within the past 2 weeks. There's a lot of information in there on how, and also in the description, how to contact Mary Rose. Mary Rose is also on Messenger. Mary Rose Sales, Sales, Baranda with a B. Okay, but the best way to get her is on her email, which is in the video that I did. Okay, so if you guys are looking to contact Mary Rose, that's the way to do it. So let's get some more chat up here. We're up to 70 people, 44 thumbs up. Let's get some more thumbs up there, guys. But tonight we're probably gonna do an hour. We're up to about 35 minutes. If we can keep the chat going, then we'll continue for maybe another half an hour, 15 minutes after an hour. We'll see. Tim Huss has told my Pina that will live on 2.5 there. The rest stays in my U.S. account. That's actually a good idea. If you can keep some of your money in your account, you're actually way better. BJ says, hello, Steve. Good evening. How's it going? How's your sciatica? My sciatica was actually great this morning till tonight, and then it started coming back. Let's see. It says, I have lumbar spinal stenosis, so causing me sciatic pain down my left leg. That's the same thing. I got left leg. Usually it's my right, but this is the first time I've actually had it bad in my left. I've had it switch and stay there for 2 or 3 days and then come back to my right usually, but never staying in my left like this. Usually I can't even drive when I was back home and had it. I know how bad it hurts. Yeah, it's very bad. I actually have lower back pain tonight. I think it's not causing the sciatica too much. It's just lower back pain from riding in the jeepney. Let's see. Not so crazy, John. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Let's see. Damn cars. I think Z and Biden talk was good for us here. Any thoughts? I don't think Z and Biden talking is a good thing for any of us, to be honest with you. Damn cars. That's my thought on that. I think they're good buddies all around. And they always have been. They might not act like it, but the Bidens have made tons of money off China. Let's face it, and that's out there on the and it's been verified. Sean Andrews, I don't see why 3K to 4K is the best. My bring home here is 4K a month in the Atlanta area, but you're talking back in the States, Sean. Um, you know, Cash over here is so much different. Like I was just talking about the thermos there. I can buy a thermos over here for like $14, but if I went back to the States, the price on it is 60. So I mean, that's the thing over here. Clothes are cheaper. A lot of things are cheaper. Some things are more expensive. Food is roughly the same if you go for American foods and stuff like that. But rentals are super cheap over here. I mean, back home, probably in Atlanta, you're probably paying, I don't know, I'm just guessing, probably 1,600 to 2,500 for a one bedroom or a studio. I know in the Boston area, that's the going prices for them. Um, so over here, I'm paying $80 for my place. I got AC. I have a beautiful little place here. It's homey, and I like it. And I'm planning on possibly doing a reset sometime this year. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I haven't really decided. I'm gonna start piecing things together and get ready to do something. And I'm gonna be telling you guys too. So I'm gonna be talking about that maybe a little bit this week. Resume ONG. I have a question. I know someone who refused the forced COVID vaccine, so she didn't renew her visa in PH embassy. Did anyone have the same experience? Renew her visa. I don't know anything. I can't answer that because I thought all that stuff was pretty much over. I don't know, Riza. I don't want to answer something because I don't know enough about that case. But maybe somebody else out there can talk about it. I have no idea. Maybe they can add. Flight of Icarus visa deposit is static unless you flip out of your real estate investment after the vesting period, right? Um, you're talking about with the deposit. Okay, the deposit and I'm not sure how that works if you flip out of your real estate investment. That's something you'd have to talk to Mary Rose about more about that. That's not something I'm up on. That's PRA stuff there because they handle all that, okay? I handle, helping you get it and stuff like that, but yeah, if you sell your real estate, I'm not I'm not sh- I'm not sure how that would work. You'd probably have to put another deposit down or something. Okay, I'm just guessing. Sinful says Riza may Ongs. Now that the LAX issues on COVID, I would think she could renew now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That sounds kind of strange, but Sean Andrews, is the military visa possible without Social Security or a pension? No, you have to have $1,000 a month if you're single, or 1,500 if you're married to do that visa, and you need to have 2 years in service and honorable discharge. Okay. So Sinful says Sean Andrews, the military you need to show a pension, otherwise the 20K deposit. You could do the 10K too. They have the 10K deposit too. Mark Richard, it was on American news about the earthquake in General Santos. I hope no one died. You know something? I heard about that after, and I didn't even get to look into that, and I'm gonna have to look into that one more. I'm not sure what happened down there. I did see it showed some people looked like sitting inside Jolly Bee or something like that, and the roofs were collapsing out in the hallway in a mall, and that's the only thing I saw about it. I'm saying, geez, that wasn't in Manila. Where was it? And At first I thought it was an old clip, but apparently it wasn't. It must have, So I'm going to look that up more. Riza May Ong, Sinfuls, thank you for answering. She won't renew because she didn't renew for 3 years now. Afraid the embassy will ban her to go back in PH. I guess her case is unique. Flight of Icarus, yes, Sean. It's cheaper too, less than 2K USD application. The application fee is 1,400 for the SRV for you guys that are wondering, because it seems like a lot of people are on that subject. Okay, and for the people that do the military thing, it's 1,500 US dollars that you have to put in for a security deposit. Okay, so for you guys that are in the military, you're very lucky. That's actually really good. Michael L says electric and gasoline is more expensive than in the States. Yes, it is. And it's kind of strange because people ride bikes here, motorcycles, and they drive small cars. And the cars all get better gas mileage for the most part. But yes, that is true. So, I mean, over here, it doesn't make that much of a difference. And most people travel public transportation. Sam, 45, greetings from Pasai. LG says, message retracted. Sinfuls, Riza Ong, you're welcome. Ripley says, what appliance brands there are reliable? We pretty much have the same ones that you guys have back in the States, like Panasonic, and there's a few other ones that are, all the big names are here. Samsung. There's a lot of stuff here, and they're all good. Okay. Let me see, like a bug here or something. There we go. I got him. John living in the Philippines. Yes, he got everything he wanted out of Sleepyhead Biden. Probably. Yeah, I heard there was some kind of deals being made and stuff. And the guy's still doing the harassment out here on the water. That's why I would not make deals with people like that. You're making a deal with the devil. Ripley 70, other than the known international ones. I'm not sure. They have some Philippine brands over here that, I mean, most of the brands over here are pretty good. I bought this thing up here, and it's not a regular brand name. I forget the brand on it, but I paid $1,000 for it. And it's they say it's one of the more reliable ones. When I talked to the guy, he says, get this one. Don't get Carrier because you can't get parts, and I couldn't get parts for it. He was right. So I already bought a Carrier, and then I couldn't get parts for it. So Sinful Mark Rich, I heard 6 dead, 2 missing at the moment. Sinful says sadly. Let's see, Jeeves Winston, 50K pension, health care, and 200K in the 401K, then SS at 62. In the U.S., I will need part-time job. There I could actually retire. That's true. There's a lot of people back in the U.S. that are on what I consider an excellent pension. If you were living over here, you'd live like a king. And back in the States, if you lived in the Boston area, you wouldn't live that well because the food is so expensive. Just to go out to dinner and get like a seafood platter is like $39 in some places, some restaurants. That's crazy. And I'm talking a seafood platter. If any of you guys up in New England know what I'm talking about, when you order a seafood platter, it's a pile, and it's not all onion rings. It's seafood, and it's got lobster in there too, for about $40. It used to be like 20. You'd get a good seafood platter. No more. I've talked to a lot of friends of mine back in, Massachusetts. I go to Rockport and Gloucester a lot, and they say, Steve, you can't even touch a seafood platter for 15, $16 anymore. Even 20. Pat Keen, hello, Steve and all. Darren says, sounds like you're getting restless. Same here. A change will do some good. Yeah, I think I'm going to do some change soon. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do, Darren. It's something's going to happen. That's all I know. I'm going to talk a little bit about it this week, probably. I think that I got some things going on I want to do. We'll see how things go. Sean Andrews, I was hoping for half of what I live off here or less, 1,600 to 2,000. Sean, you could do that. What you're talking about, 1,600 to 2,000. We have guys here in our group here that live off of that, and actually they do pretty well. I must say, if you are careful. It's how you live. It's how you live. And I live off a higher than that. and I do really good, but I like to spend. I like to go out. I like to go out to eat, so I spend a lot more than that. Douglas Robbins says my house in Vancouver, Washington costs more for the water sewer bill than all my utilities in Naga, including internet and phone service. There you go. A big difference. Michael L says Steve Icarus is pronounced Icarus. Okay. I always say Icarus. I'm not sure why. Yeah, but you're right. And now that I remember that from school, from high school. It was Greek mythology. The guy I know, the guy who flew too close to the sun with the wax wings or whatever. For Android 101, don't live a Western lifestyle or have a hobby other than dating, resort hopping. The assumption that we all need the same dollars um, to not hurting is just not true. Um, for all, yes, you're correct. 15 plus Asia years speaking. There are a lot of people over here that live on really, really cheap budgets, and it's not, I don't think it's fun. Flight of Icarus says, I allot 4K to 6K US dollars monthly to myself living here as a young retiree. Sometimes I spend 1,500, others I spend 4.5 US dollars easily. Haven't pushed to the upper end of my personal limit. I'd say you're about like you're a lot like me, Icarus. Um, I'm probably like very close to where you're at actually, and I bounce around month to month. And some months I charge stuff on my cards, because I want to do something or buy something. Now I got to pay them off. I got a few things I got to pay off now. But once I get those things paid off, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I got to do a complete reset here. Um, I got a few bills I got to pay, and then I think there's going to be some changes, and there's going to be interesting changes too for you guys to watch too. Um, I'm gonna make myself a lot more private, for a lot of different reasons, and I think a lot of people should make themselves private over here, more private, because leaving yourself open over here leaves yourself to some bad things. Do not leave yourself open over here. People can be dangerous over here, and they can they'll rattle your cage as long as they can, and I'm kind of burned out on that right now, without getting into details. Razzie Cat, Steve, would you consider moving south of Luzon to another island? No, no. Um, Dumaguete and those places just don't appeal to me. I would want to be around Luzon, somewhere close to Manila still. BJ, I have lower back pain too. I feel it most when my sciatic pain is low. I was in the Philippines for 3 weeks back in September. Sciatica hurt the whole time, but it's a little better now. I've been going. I don't know if I've told you guys yet. I've been going to physical therapy here. Down to actually, it's 250 pesos every time I go to physical therapy. It's $5, less than $5, and it has been helping. Um, I don't do some of the follow up stuff that I should be doing, the exercises and stuff like that. And I got to start doing that more, and I think it would help me more. I do it some days, and some days I forget, but I do go every week to my physical therapist. LG says the products China sell in the Philippines is much lower um, quantity than in the USA, so the cheaper price. Frankie the Rat says many people died. That's too sad to hear. Significant damage in General Santos. Um, let's see. I'm sorry, I just got a message on here. Wondering Wolf, did you hear that Nikki Haley, who is running for president, wants to raise the retirement age to save Social Security? It would only apply to people born after 2000, so I am all for it. Yeah, because those people gave us, I mean, a lot of those people give us a lot of problems. The generation that's coming up right now and they're going to live longer because let's face it. I mean, anybody born after 2000, I'm all for that. I'd go along with that. Wandering Wolf. You want to raise it to 70, then they can still retire early. They just won't live off Social Security, and I think it would teach people to save money, and maybe they need to teach that in school also as part. If they're going to change it, they should have a curriculum in school for that, and that should be part of that bill. But I could go along with that. Yes. I think that's actually a good idea. I think they should probably boost it, kick it up 1% too. Taking 1% more taken out in taxes, They're gonna kill you. You know, they already got a whole bunch of taxes coming out already. Sinful says, I have Samsung and LG here and have been good quality. Nigel Watson, hi Steve, retired and coming to the Philippines. We get in touch. Okay, Nigel. Um, Sinful's Media is a good AC brand. I'm not sure what my brand is. I gotta look at it. Dicky Spaz, don't sell the younger generation down the road so you get yours. That's a vicious cycle. I'm not saying to sell them down the road, Dicky. I think they're all going to live longer because of their age. I mean, we're coming into big times now in this future, and I mean, even Elon Musk has come up with some ideas to make people live longer. When they get sicker, it'll tell you, and you know all this stuff with that new thing that he was talking about doing, where they connect into your brain or something like that. There's some crazy stuff coming out right now that I think will really change um, healthcare. So I don't think that we're hurting those people by saying, "Hey, you can't retire till you're 70 now." You know, Matt T says, "Haha, Wandering Wolf. Mitch McConnell has been trying to end SS for 30 years, but retirees still vote Republican." Razzie Cat, I'm curious if you've learned Tagalog since you've been there. I like the Central Visayas region, so I am learning Visayan. I have not, Razzie Cat. I have not learned any Tagalog. Very few words. I know a few of the words. That's it. I know how to talk, say parapo on the jeepneys and stuff like that, and a few other words. Beyond that, no. Damn cars, and I was married to a Filipina for 10 years, so I mean, and no, I'd never learned. Damn cars, the one thing that most people ignore is the effect of inflation on a budget. I think cost doubling every 10 to 20 years is likely. SS cuts are possible in about 10 years. Wow. Let's see. I think I don't think there's going to be any SS cuts because SS is really low now. I mean, I was looking at what I'm going to get for SS, and it's not high. It's actually pretty low. If I take it at 62, I'm thinking about taking it. I'll probably end up. I got some things going on right now with SS, and I'm trying to check to see what I can do. Um, and I might talk about that in the future a little bit more because a lot of people have choices with some of this stuff, and maybe I'll cover some of that stuff sometime because it's quite interesting. Let's see. Damn Car says they were saying in 2032 if no fix then a 20% cut. That's a huge cut. 2032 is not that far away either. We're only talking a few years away. I mean, I'll be in my 70s, so it won't bother me too much. Damn cars, if they don't cut SS, they will probably print more money. Could easily lead to a dollar crash. That could happen. Let's see. Flight of Icarus. I have Samsung Hair, Colin, Biko, Gas Range, all great so far. Oven hits around 550 Fahrenheit. Can bake homemade pizza decently. Sounds pretty good, man. Yeah, those are all the big brands here in the Philippines. Samsung Hair, Colin. I never heard of Biko though. That's a new one on me. Edward Perenboom. Hi, Steven. Have a great Thanksgiving. Turkey or no turkey? Tim Huss, Dicky, you're right with that can be a whole different conversation. Johanna, Mrs. Steve, I'm single. How about you? Ha ha ha. Let's see. Um, I am not single, no. Let's see. Frankie the Rat says message deleted by Sinfuls. Mark Richard, yes, Steve. I went to um, movies in Michigan. It was $50 as I treated a friend. That's popcorn and pop. Crazy. I know it's much cheaper in the Philippines. That is crazy. $50, man. Over here, some of the senior citizens I think they can go free once a month or something like that. If you get your senior citizens card and you're Filipino. Sinfuls, Frankie the Rat. That is a subject we don't go to. Thanks. Flight of Icarus, upgrading my two main air cons to the newest inverter colon 4 horsepower 3 ton and hair 1.5 1 ton. Cut my electric in half. Old units were about 5 years old. My other unit was about 5 years old, and I noticed with the 2 horsepower my electric bill is about the same or lower, which is kind of funny. I noticed my AC is frigid cold, and we actually had to move it up to like about 26 or 27 now, where I used to have it on like 23. So it's actually saving me electricity. Fish on an aqua bid. I did a practice run in Dumaguete in August. It cost 2,400 for the month with 2 scuba trips and a mix of local Western food. I added on the cost of insurance for another 350 a month. Yeah, health insurance can definitely add a lot. I think your 350 prices for if you're talking about health insurance. I think that's really high. You need to talk to Michael Onstad, Onstad, about that. He's definitely lower than that price. Um, and you can get some really good insurance. Michael, unless you got a lot of pre-existing conditions. Michael D. Steve, how much would you say is good to have per month for someone wanting to base themselves in the Philippines and travel a lot throughout the country, maybe going back and forth to Thailand? I would, Mike, I would say about 5K would be a good place to start. For somebody that was going to be traveling around the Philippines a lot, like you say, I would say 5K, 5K or above. Haresh says, "How are you?" I'm great. Let's see. I watched your video. Thank you. Flight of Icarus says, "I have a large home though, 180 square foot, 4 bedroom, 4 bath, with staff quarters. That sounds nice, Icarus." Excuse me, guys. I still have that congestion from pneumonia and the flu, so we'll see how much longer I can last here. Rizame Ong, the U.S. government is trying to make our country the next proxy war, Ukraine, Israel. I expect Americans will flock here now. Can't say I'm pleased. The Chinese were really nice with us. I don't know if I'd agree with that, Riza. That's going a little bit too far because they've been squirting your fishing boats out there and taking over your islands out there. So I wouldn't say that they've been really nice with you. That's just me. If you think that's nice when people steal islands, then that's on you. You know. Haresh says, "Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Haresh." Sinful's Flight of Icarus. My house is about 160 square meters for my wife and myself and my dog. And Icarus is just me, the girlfriend, the dog here as well. Haha. The rest is sometimes guest space or I use as it hobbying. Sinful says, Flight of Icarus. Yes, family comes on occasion. Upsec Classified. Hello, my friends. How you doing, Upsec? For Android 101, I'm 60 parody of I'm 18 by Alice Cooper. Let's see. Sinful says, we went to the movies for myself and my wife, and I spent about $24 for a nice theater with really nice seats in Ayala. It's cheap here. It's 300 pesos, $6. So it'd be $12 for two. I would suppose with your popcorn, drinks, and maybe a burger or something like that, or a hot dog, whatever they have in there. Yeah, it probably cost about $24 for two people. Here at SM and Tracy. Sean, actually, the theaters were packed today over at SM and Dasma today, and SM Pala Pala. Sean Andrews says, having a plan to retire at 55. That's what I did. That would be a good video. 53 now and trying to plan. I actually did a video about that a while back, a long time ago. You can go back and try to find it. 53 now and trying to plan for 55. No pension. 250K and 401K. That's good. 15K in saving. That's excellent. But 55K in debt, no house. That 55K in debt could be a big danger. You got to get. I would work on paying that off over the next 2 years before. I paid off all my debt before I come over here. I have a little bit of debt now. It's not much, but it's just a tiny bit on some credit cards that I have over here because I use my credit cards on occasion, and it's because the past 8 months have been pretty rough with health and other things. So I kind of dipped into that a little bit, and I'm trying to. I think in the next 3 to 6 months that'll all be taken care of or less. Wandering Wolf, Steve, what do you do about crypto? Are you putting any cash in that? No, I used to. I don't like the way it's working right now. I just don't like the way crypto is reacting to things now. Sean Andrews, but 2,500 rent payment. That's expensive. Sinful, Sean Andrews, ouch. Here you could get a really nice house for about $800 or so. Yeah, for you guys that don't know, I mean, I've been over to Sinful's house over there where he lives, okay? And let me tell you something. For $800, what he pays, Back in the States, you'd pay about $3,000-4,000 for that, probably, if not more. In some sections, probably closer to four. And he pays about 800, and I believe they said it would be that it could be furnished if he wanted, but he didn't want it furnished, so he could have had it furnished. So, and that is in a gated community with a pool, by the way. John, living in the Philippines, if they would stop sending money to the 8 million people that crossed out the border over the past 3 years, that they're getting more money than us on SS. You know something, John, living in the Philippines, I agree 10,000% with that. You know, um, let's see. Lou Anderson's sending me a message here. Let's see. Mark Richard, nice sinfuls. Glad you had a nice time. Haresh says, I am fine. You take care of your health and drink some hot tea. Actually, you know what? You just reminded me to get a hot chocolate tonight because that's what I feel like tonight. Sinfuls, Joe Cunningham. I live in New Valley, and at night we get cool air off Tagaytay. He Sinfuls lives in a beautiful area. I gotta tell you this. I was over in Sinfuls, and I was really impressed with it because it's just like living in the U.S. except it's cheaper. It's high end living on the cheap, okay? And I did a video on Sinful's home a while back. It wasn't too long ago. If you guys want to watch a beautiful video about a beautiful house, Sinful's house is actually on my channel. Go back and watch that because it's a nice home. It's a really really nice home, and you can see what you can get for $800, and it's something I'm even looking into. I got some things going on right now, and that might be one of the choices that I make. I'm really not sure what's going to happen this year because I've had some setbacks, and I had another setback the other day. I might have something that might boost me forward next month a little bit. As we go through life, that happens. The setback is not a permanent setback. It might actually boost me later, which might sound crazy to you. I'm not going to really get into my details, but we'll see what happens. Nicholas Sibley, good morning from the USA. Haresh says, I am a food vlogger. There we go. That's cool, Haresh. Damn cars, be careful relying on Pacific Cross Insurance as you age. What costs 2K at year 65 costs 14K at age 100. But most people don't live to be 100. Let's face it. And by the time you get to that age, you should have, if you listen to what I tell you, put some money aside as soon as you start getting here. And that's one reason why I tell people to be in the 2 to 3K range, so you can bank some of the extra money for when you get older. Okay, you really need to. Flight of Icarus. Let me just go on that a little bit further. That they're talking again about the Medicare being available outside the U.S. again, and they're actually going to vote on that soon. And that might be one of the people that we were talking to in the U.S. Jackson, I believe his name was, that might be pushing that through. So we'll find out more. Flight of Icarus. My original negotiate rent is 30K pesos monthly, but I got a deal that knocked my first year to 17K a month. Next year will be full rate, less any agreed improvements, repairs as negotiated in my contracts. That sounds good. Sinful says, Mark Richard, thanks. Nicholas Sibley, sir, I received Mr. Cardwell's military records. He lied about his 4 years service and he committed stolen valor. I think is a shame, and he's a liar and a grifter. I think we've talked enough about that guy for now. I mean, everybody knows the story. Some people still like him, and that's on them. I put out the story on him, Nicholas, and everything that was handed over to me already. I never received it. I don't know if you've ever sent me that stuff. I think it was you that might have said that you were sending me some other stuff, but I never received it yet. I'd like to look at it. Maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. I just think it's beating a dead horse now because the guy's already spoken, and he kind of told some more stories. I'm just gonna say that. I don't particularly like the person, but I'm not gonna pounce on him or anything either. I think he's had his day, and now everybody knows. Let them make their decisions now. Riza Ong, yeah, but I do agree. There's been some stolen valor there, and that was said in the story, in the newspaper, that he did say something about being a SEAL or something like that. Now that said it in the story. I didn't say that. Resume on. Yes, China has been nice with us. Never invaded any country. Malaysia and Indonesia. We also have tension with West Philippine Sea. Malaysia even sees some Filipino boats, but that wasn't sensationalized. China has not been nice, Rizza. Let's be truthful here. You sound like you're kind of pro China, but that I mean I prefer not to really talk about that subject that much because I think most of the guys on here know the way China is. I don't even have to really speak to that, Rizza. It's just China is not very nice. I know they build a lot of stuff here, but if you know the story behind the story, then you know China is not nice. And you need to really read up on that more before you say that. I'm not trying to chastise you here, be critical of you, but I'm just telling you the truth. Giovanni Cipriani, sorry, I got up late here in Florida from my spine surgery. I had this past Monday. Uh, Doing like you all advice, get things taken care of before coming. Exactly. Hope you do. Hope you feel better, man. Sinful says the same. Hope you're doing well now. Riz says Joe Cunningham, you can make take a look at Baguio City. Very beautiful, lots of blooming flowers, and weather is amazing. Icarus says my house here is worth around 22 million pesos. Nice subdivision. That's like 400k US dollar home. Let's see. Sean Andrews says, so is the difference between 2K a month and 5K a month all the traveling? Yes, yes, yes. Good to keep in mind all the time. You have all the time you have on your hands when you're not working. Yes, anything over 2K is pretty much you're spending money. Here, 2K is good living without traveling. Okay, it's okay living over here. It's not traveling. It's living in a house, eating good food, stuff like that, and even having maybe a little savings and paying your healthcare costs and stuff like that. You can do it. It's possible. 5K is better living, traveling around, throwing maybe a little bit more in the bank. I think if you're staying healthy and keeping active like you're talking about, you probably won't spend a lot on healthcare. That's just what I'm saying. Flight of Icarus says most people here pay the same range as Sinfuls. I got very lucky with a friendship deal. Johanna says, thanks, Mr. Steve. Always take care. Always watching you. Anytime. Anytime, sir, Johanna. Sinful says, Flight of Icarus. Good to hear. Joe Cunningham. Um, Sinful's planning to buy a farmhouse not at gated community. Which areas should I look? Um, I think she's asking Sinfuls that question. Sinfuls, you want to answer that one for Joe Cunningham? Planning to for the farmhouse? I'm not sure. I would say Indang. Indang's a great farming community. There's lots of farms over there, and you're close to Manila too, and it's clean air. Sean Andrews, Sinfuls, how did you do it? Where do you live in PI? Sinfuls, Joe Cunningham, if you went to access to Manila, but of course not to be in Manila, then look out in Laguna. Yeah, that might be a great place actually too if you can get cheap property out there. Haresh says, I did some food blogs on Manila and also introduced hotel with breakfast. Giovanni says, I'm so tired of Google always saying social security check going to be in your checking account. They've been saying this for 3 months now. New this morning they're saying December. Sinful says, Sean Andrews, I live in Laguna Province in New Valley area. Just found the house on a rental site. Joe Cunningham, Sinful's Santa Rosa, okay, or Tammy? Giovanni Cipriani says Joe Biden just gave $6 billion to save trees in America. I could have thought better ways to distribute the money to America. If he's planting chestnut trees that don't have the blight or something like that, I think that's actually a pretty good investment. I got to be honest with you, Giovanni. The trees in the United States have taken a toll over the past 10 years because of disease. Chestnut trees are almost gone. Used to be, they said a squirrel could go all the way across the United States on chestnut trees alone. And chestnut trees have all but disappeared in the U.S. There's very few. Used to be chestnut trees were very common. And there's also all kinds of blights on other trees and stuff because of different things coming into the country. Rizame Ong says Joe Cunningham farmhouse in the south of Davao City is a good choice. Try checking Polomolok. It's highland, cool air, lots of food there, cheap real estate. There's a lot of places in the Philippines to do farming, um, to own a farm. It depends what kind of farm you're doing too. If you're doing bananas or something like that, or some fruits, I mean, you could do it almost anywhere. Nicholas Sibley says, I understand and appreciate it. I will send you and so have it. The military thing he kept lying about, for all of us who served, it's a travesty. Thank you. It's yeah. Um, Nicholas, I agree with you on the guy. The guy's, I don't particularly like the guy, and we were the first ones to put him out on the live stream actually. And what happened was the next day, some other vlogger picked it up, and then all of a sudden everybody went on him. And I wanted it out there, and that kind of broke the story. And I didn't put down the guy or anything. I just said it as it was. I read the story. I believe that when it was on a live stream, we did that. Sinful says, Joe Cunningham, yes, Santa Rosa, a nice area, pretty populated. You can go south towards Batangas or Lipa and find more open space, but have access to the freeway. Yeah, there are where he lives. I gotta say, Sinfuls lives in a really really nice area. Check out his home. Rich has a really really nice place. Mark Richard, I saw the video Sinfuls home. It's beautiful, and I believe he did an extension and home updates. He did some updates there. And he says I was impressed. Ripley, um, China has a lot of internal issues, population, economy, etc. Um, Sinful says Mark Richard TKS. Thanks, I guess that is. Nicholas Sibley, I actually requested and received his military records. It took a while. It is a dead horse, but the claim about the military service is the worst. Yeah, it's. I think at this point we're just beating a dead horse with that guy. That's my thought on that. Giovanni says, yeah, stop boosting that guy. He's trying to get his YouTube ratings up. He's hurting for cash. I'm a disabled veteran, and it upsets me when someone lies about their military career. Yeah, I don't boost the guy at all. I just say, I think it's just beating a dead horse now. Everybody knows his story. I'm not sure why people watch the guy, because I've watched some of his stuff, and some of his stuff is just not factual. He told a lot of stories about the VA, also about SRRVs, and he has all his facts kind of messed up. For Android 101, the insurance point is well taken. Past age 70, it costs more than rent and food combined in Asia, effectively ending the retirement plans of many people. Ripley 7T, as far as stolen valor, etc., I just pity those folks that have to lie to have self worth. I did 21 years over three branches. No need to embellish or lie. I did some fun things. I did some POG things. LOL. Yeah, I was a cook. That's it. On a submarine. Flight of Icarus, the allergy and flu stuff. And no, it wasn't Steven Seagal. The allergy and flu stuff has been vicious this year. Second day of antibiotics and that flu now. If you guys get the flu over here, get the Z-Packs, the Zithromax. Um, that helped me with my pneumonia, and it also helped with the flu. And I kind of got the cold a little bit, and you can still hear in my voice. I don't think I'm going to get over this for like another 2 months. Some people are telling me that they had a flu and it lasted for like 2 months so far, with some of the leftover remnants of it, the lung problems and stuff. Let's see. Jeeves Winston, where is the best weather over there? Little up in elevation. Tagaytay's good. Baguio's nice. There's better places than those. Baguio's getting overcrowded. Tagaytay's overcrowded. It's because of that elevation. This place is near Dumaguete also, and there's a lot of other places. You just got to look around. Sinful says, oh, also Amadeo is nice. Where Sinfuls lives is also nice, and I don't know if it's cool there. I think it's kind of hot there, but it's just a nice area. Like, you do get a breeze blowing through there. Joe Cunningham says, thanks, Sinfuls. As long as far from Tal, our church is in Taguig. Can't go far. Indang maybe too. Thanks, Steve. No problem. Let's see. Flight of Icarus, second day. Sinfuls, Joe Cunningham, I am near Tal, but not worried about as crater and cone is down below the mountain line. It would have to really blow to make me worried. Ripley 7T, Biden could stop print. If Biden could stop printing money, that would save trees. There we go. I like that. Um, Ripley 7 says many elm trees died in the 70s and 80s. Yes, I remember my father. He used to burn a lot of elm during the 70s and 80s because they were all dying from that blight or whatever it was. Sinful says, in fact, I drove up there this morning on a motorcycle. I went from my house to Tagaytay and back in 30 minutes. LOL, I was moving along in the back road. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. John, living in the Philippines, says he just received $10 billion more. For Android 101, I lived in China 15 years. They are collectivists, like Filipinos, heavily subject to groupthink and bandwagon effect, and all that implies. I see a lot of Chinese here. I also see a lot of Koreans here too. Sean Andrews says ash trees were hit hard because of the emerald ash borer. Michael L. Farming is hard work. Tim Huss says, yeah, whenever someone starts saying they were Green Beret or SEAL, always have suspicious eye. Or if they say they're CIA or FBI or one of those things, those also happen a lot over here. And it's kind of hard to believe that sometimes. Sinful's Tim Huss, I was a lonely electronics mechanic. Sun Moon, most of the ash trees in Colorado are gone due to diseases. Yes. Chris Heron says they are bringing the American chestnut back blight free. They have started replanting in a small way so far. See, that's what they need to plant in the United States. And I don't want to get off subject here, but I mean, it's kind of a cool subject. The chestnut trees, I used to remember them when I was a kid, back in the 60s and 70s, and actually be eating the chestnuts off them. I love chestnuts. And then all of a sudden they started dying. My father used to go down and cut them down the street. We lived on an old street that went back to the 1600s. And it was in Bill Ricker in Bedford, Massachusetts, called Dudley Road. It's actually one of the most haunted streets in New England, possibly America, they say. I never had much of a problem, on the street itself as far as being haunted. OPSEC Classified. What's the link to Sinful's home video? If you go back, you'll see it. It's a really nice big home. Okay, OPSEC. It's a ways back. It's within the past 3 months, I think, 3 or 4 months. So it's not. You don't have to go back too far. I don't have a link for it right now unless Sinfuls puts it up or whatever. Oh, Sinfuls is putting it up right now. Okay, so you have it up there. Yeah, they developed a hybrid version already. He's talking about the trees, I guess. Giovanni says, Sinfuls, what's your channel? I like to check out your videos and home. Well, maybe he put up his channel. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. But you can look on my channel. It's within the past 4 months. Tim Huss, Sinfuls, I was just a glorified dog-faced combat engineer, bridge crew, but changing to 55.EOD. Sinfuls, Giovanni Cipriani, just search Sinfuls from my channel. But house video is on Steve's, the link above. Okay, good. All right, so that's the house video link for you guys looking that Sinfuls just put up. Giovanni Cipriani, hey, cooks were the best because if you treated them good in the military, they made sure you got a little more on your plate. It's true. I mean, I had good friends and stuff like that. I always made sure that they got, good food if they took care of me. If the guy was a jerk, usually he didn't get a lot of food, or usually he got the last, the smallest piece of meat or something like that, and most of the time the mess cooks took care of that, but sometimes I'd be out there serving too. Let's see, Joe Cunningham, mess cooks were people that just did 90 days of duty usually. Sometimes they did 6 months, depending. Joe Cunningham, for non-military applying for SRRV, there's a requested 50K, a required 50K. I think that can be used to buy a condo. I'm not for non-military. I think there's a 10K and there's a 20K. I think you're looking at something else, Joe Cunningham. The applicant already was a condo with wife. Does he still have to pay the deposit? Yes, you got to pay the deposit. You would do the buying of the condo later, Joe. Okay. I'm not sure what happens when you sell the condo. I think you have to put the money back into the bank or whatever. Sinfuls, was definitely cool at night here in New Valley. Michael L., I get the flu vaccine every year and have stockpiled a oseltamivir if I still get the flu. Flight of Icarus, Last year was like a cold activated allergy. Cold drink, too cold with aircon, coughing first couple of hours of the day that lasted 3 months. This year I knocked it out in a couple of weeks. Yeah, the 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 stuff that I took knocked it out like and just it knocked it out really quick. You know, the Z pack, the zithromycin. Simple as Joe Cunningham, non-military. I think is 20K. Yes, that's correct. I'm not sure what she's talking about with the 50K. They do supposedly have something that might come out in the future again. Um, we'll see what happens in January. That they're talking about some. I'm hearing rumors of changes, but we'll see. For Android 101, the 2 month flu is a COVID variant. It's all over China too. Sinfuls for Android 101, yes, the new COVID. Tim Huss, laughing LMAO, laughing my ass off at Giovanni, you're right. Cajun Jameis, I'm late. What about the 7.2 earthquake? You know, I just heard about that, so I really can't comment on it that much. I saw a clip of it, and I haven't seen much news actually about it. So that's kind of funny. Might be not a lot of news coming out of there because it was so bad. It was a 7.2 after all. Sinful's Cajun Jameis, sadly 6 dead, 2 missing. Upsec, thanks friends. Tim Huss, Icarus, Ether Engineering 24th, ID Camp Swampy, Fort Stewart, not PC. Last time was there, it has changed. Sinful's Flight of Icarus, I was just in the US and brought back 400 packs of Alka-Seltzer nighttime severe cold. That's a lot of stuff. Bill Lloyd says, hi, good morning, Steve. I'm coming over there in February of 2024. Should I get any vaccinations for my trip? That's kind of like up to you. I know a lot of people here, as soon as you start talking vaccinations, you open up a can of worms. I don't like to really get into on this vaccination thing because I believe in vaccinations, okay? I'm not sure about the COVID vaccinations, but I believe in regular vaccinations for the most part. Okay, I'll just say that, okay? I get the flu shot. I did get the COVID shots. I didn't really want to get the COVID shots. I got them because I wanted to be able to go shopping. Okay, I'll just say it that way. Let's see. Android 101 says, I remember chestnut trees. Most of us guys here are also the last generation to drink from a garden hose. Probably, yeah, that's probably true. Michael L. Joe, it's the 10K with pension and 20K without pension for us, the Vans Fast RV. I've never heard the 50K thing. I think they're talking about one of the old plans that they had up there, which is gone. I think it was, I can't remember what it was. That was a long time ago, which is still a bargain compared to investment visas. That might be the investment visa that she's talking about, which isn't through the PRA. Michael L. No, influenza has no relation to coronavirus. That is like saying dogs and cats are related. Sinfuls, I get alerts on earthquakes on my phone. Same here. It probably went off because mine does go off. I just don't pay attention to them most of the time. Flight of Icarus, nice one, Sinfuls. I used the Strepsil chesty cough, vitamin C boost, and extra strength with super dose of vitamins for a while. Then the flu came knocking a month later. So we got 74 people, 64 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. We are going to be done here in about 5 minutes. So we're almost at the end here. Simple says, Flight of Icarus, the Alka-Seltzer works good for me and lets me sleep at night, if not feeling well with cough, etc. Yeah, that does help. I've tried the Alka-Seltzer when I was home. It does actually help you sleep. Michael L. says, hepatitis B, influenza, rabies, everything except dengue because Sanofi Fubar, that formulation. Flight of Icarus, yeah, that one, and the Theraflu, that's back good. Sinful, thanks for all the good chat tonight, good conversations. Prairie Mark says, hi, Steve, have you settled in? We have settled in Iowa. I still tune in when I can. Thanks, Mark, I appreciate it. It's good to see you checking in on here. We're going to be ending here, guys. Mark, try to jump on the channel next week or the week after. If I'm not on next week, we'll be on the week after. And I always tell people that on here, just make sure if you tune in at 9:30 and you don't see me on here, it's probably because either I'm doing something, I'm sick, or something's up. But usually I'll be on here the week after, okay? But chances are I'll probably be here next week. I have no plans on going any place next Saturday, and I'm starting to feel better. So as far as my cold and and pneumonia and flu and stuff like that. My back's just kind of the same way it always is, always hurting. But anyway, we'll see you guys in another week, and we'll have a new video up tomorrow for you guys. God bless, guys. Take care, and have a good weekend, guys. Take care. And I also want to thank the two moderators, Michael and Sinfuls. Thank you, guys.